Western Lakes Fire District says staffing shortages are endangering public safety. Now, voters in 7 municipalities will decide whether they're willing to pay more in property taxes to hire more first responders.
So Ben Jordan goes in depth on the fire department's dilemma and why residents in one community are being asked to pay far more than others.
Currently, about 90% of the Western Lakes Fire District staff is part-time or on call. The fire chief says it's resulting in slow response times that put lives at risk. If a referendum passes, an additional 33 full-time firefighters would be hired to fill that void. The fire department that responded to 2 drownings in 3 days on Lac La Belle says staffing shortages are creating a crisis in western Waukesha County.
Every day is a gamble.
Fire Chief Brad Bowen says calls for service are up 74%, all while he's losing an average of 40 part-time employees each year.
We've had employees say, I can't do this anymore, or I can't come to calls after midnight because I have to be up and I have to function at my full-time job to put food on the table for my family.
Chief Bowen says a problem is reflected in scene response times. It's taking Western Lakes Fire District an average of 11 minutes and 14 seconds for a fire engine to arrive on scene, higher than the national standard of 9 minutes 90% of the time.
As we know, fire doubles every minute, depending upon what's burning. It could be even doubling every 30 seconds. Chances of survival in cardiac arrest, strokes, heart attacks, that is impacted by response times.
A task force made up of fire officials and municipal leaders say the issue will take $6.3 million to solve, but that decision will be left up to voters in these 7 municipalities that receive the fire services. If the referendum passes, City of Oconomowoc residents would pay an additional $80 in taxes for every $100,000 worth of property they own. But that cost doubles in the village of Dousman.
That's what breaks you, is the property taxes. And they're going up and up and up every year with this little tiny town.
The Dousman Village president tells me off camera the reason their residents would be paying more is because their population is much smaller than the other municipalities, and they have several schools and nonprofit businesses that are exempt. Chris and Gary Kent of Dousman did the math, and it would cost them an extra $500 a year.
As much as I'd like to say yes, I probably will say no because it's not equitable. No. The cost per capita just isn't fair.
Western Lakes is far from the only community turning to referenda to pay for more firefighters. Chief Bowen says 7 municipalities across the state asked voters for more fire resources in April, and all of them passed. Reporting in Oconomowoc, Ben Jordan, TMJ4 News.